from the idea of demanding names to identify the highest earners. Plans were outlined by Sir David Walker, who was asked by the government to look at the way the banks are run. Our chief economics correspondent, Hugh Pym, reports.
Sir Fred Goodwin, seen by many as one of the main villains of the banking crisis. It was public knowledge that he earned more than £4 million at RBS the year before its collapse. What we didn't know at the time was that 200 RBS bankers took home even more than he did. That mustn't happen again, according to today's report. In future, it says banks must reveal how many executives outside the boardroom are on big pay deals. It sets out a radical blueprint for reform, which goes further than many other economies.
Are we more likely to change the international community by putting our money where our mouth is and saying we want to lead in an exemplary way in this sort of space? Society is fed up with bankers, and we're going to set a high standard and you follow.
Sir David says banks must provide details of individual earnings of £1 million a year and above. He believes some bonuses should be deferred for as long as 5 years, and he wants more scrutiny of board decisions by shareholders. So how's all this going to go down in the City of London? This demand for much greater transparency and disclosure of the number of people on £1 million plus pay packets at leading banks.
If we go ahead in these sorts of areas too fast in the UK, we'll lose business and jobs out of this country, and that will not be of benefit either to the economy or the people that work in it.
But public anger about bankers' pay is still running high, as we discovered again today.
I think basically they're just fat cats and they're just creaming off all the money, aren't they, basically, off the bounce.
For their own pockets, really. Certainly listing, earners over £1 million is a start, and then just more control over it, I think, really.
Hong Kong is one example of a financial centre where banks have to name their highest paid executives and their salaries. Some want that to happen here, including the City Minister, but his idea was rejected by the Walker report.
A number of jurisdictions, Australia, America, Hong Kong, do name the recipients of the highest earnings. I wanted him to think about that. He's done that. He's considered it. He's concluded that naming names is not as important as describing the overall architecture of what he describes as high-end earners.
So the report is controversial. Some say it goes too far, others not far enough. Hugh Pym, BBC News.
The biggest cruise ship